LPT: How to feed your dog or cat when you're broke. First and foremost, a caveat. I do not support this being used to take advantage of the system and be a means to feed your dog, cat on the cheap just because you object to the current high prices of pet food. That's in you from when you chose to support another life form. I'm sure some will take this idea and run with it and use it. But this is meant to support the poor doggos and meows. When their people are going through a serious financial rough patch and actually can't afford to buy dog cat food. If you find yourself in a pinch and you're worried about where Fido's Fluffy's next meal might come from, most pet stores will offer you a handful of different brands single-serving sample dog cat food bags if you just say that you are searching for a new pet food because reason. They will give you small sample bags of a variety of different dog cat foods that are single meal size. The manufacturers give these out in hopes that someone showing up at the pet store will say, "I don't know what food to get my dog cat," and upon using the free sample you'll decide to buy that food for your pet for the rest of their life. This thought came to me last time we were at the pet store and our dog wasn't eating, so we thought we'd ask about other brands. I think we were given 4 samples. I've gotten pet food samples before and feel it seems to vary from around 3-6 granted. This won't get you very far at 4-ish servings per visit 2-ish days. They're not going to offer you more the next time you are in unless you maybe catch a different employee shift. You could potentially go sequentially hit up all the pet food places in your area. But even that won't last you very long. But if you're flat broke and wondering where your dog or cat's next meal is going to come from, this may be a way to at the very briefest keep them insulated from the cruelties out our human capitalist system whilst you seek other means of obtaining sustenance for you both. There are food pantries for pets. Call a shelter, they will likely help you out. Some food banks provide pet food as well. Sometimes animal shelters, city animal shelters, hold pet pantries too. They give out various foods. And sometimes even toys and shoes for pets. Many cities have pet food banks. This will be very unpopular. Vet bills are way higher than food, especially as the pet gets older. If you can't afford the vet, you can't afford the pet. If you have a pet and fall on hard times, that's of course a different story. I don't know where are you based from, but in Europe, Slovenia, Italy, Croatia, you can go to local butchers and get cutoffs of meat, bones, tissue organs for free. I used to do it for my dog, passed away in May after 13 years. And would always get at least a bag of stuff each week. I would then cook some, give him some raw. As a supplement, it was great. I appreciate this LPT even without being worried about where my pet's next meal will come from. I'm in the process of adopting a dog. And knowing I can get samples at the pet store is really helpful. And will make picking out their long-term food much easier. Canned tuna in the cheapest possible brand is a viable option, but only in water. Brine is too much salt and oil may give your pet the runs. A lot of shelters will give you free food. Maybe don't own a pet if you can't afford to feed it. Crazy, I know. It's better to have a look on your local social media. Most pet owners have once or twice bought new food for a pet. For the little git to not like it, they're more than happy to give away or trade that food. I'm gonna start calling dogs barcos. Rice, maybe ask some restaurants for scraps or throwaways. If you can't afford to feed your cat or dog, you better be willing to steal that animal's food or find somebody who can feed it. Sorry, but this is a horrible idea. First off, if you can't afford a vet visit, let alone food, then you should absolutely not have a pet. Secondly, Dogs have sensitive stomachs, so changing food every day for an indefinite period can cause internal issues. They can't handle changing food once normally, and you have to wean them onto it. Just call a pet shelter or rehome the pet. I feed my dog 3 chicken drumsticks. I cook them, cut all the meat off, and give it her most nights in a bowl. Other times ground beef with pasta. Or roast pork with rice, or just chicken and rice. She has proper dry dog food to munch on during the day and a cooked meal every night. X200B. My mom was a breeder and used to cook a big pot of just ground beef, dog quality, $5 a kilogram, with pasta, $1 a bag, corn and carrots, and just freeze most of it and reheat it daily and give it to her dogs in the morning. Facebook has a couple of groups. IntelliHelp for families and IntelliHelp pets. You are able to list the items that you need and can even link to wish lists Amazon, Target, Walmart. Other FB members are able to order whatever they are able to afford and have it shipped to you or ordered for store pickup. I know this group exists in the US, but not sure about other countries. Hope this helps. Years ago, hunting dogs were fed cornbread. This works in theory, but for someone like myself with a special needs cat who has to eat specialty food to survive, any other food will have him bleeding out of his urethra. There are too many factors to consider for a pet's diet. A lot of pets have unknown allergies, and this seems like a bad way to find out. LPT. If you can't afford to feed your pet, you shouldn't own one. Find it a good new home. Perhaps some rotisserie chicken with the seasoned skin off. Buying meat and preparing it for your pet is considered a superior feeding method, like e.g. barf. And in my country it's cheaper than canned pet food. An ethical life pro tip: if you can't afford to feed your cat or dog, then eat your cat or dog. Fishing pole and some worms. I would be worrying about where my next meal is coming from before I would worry about where my pet's next meal was coming from. I'll go hungry before they do. You shouldn't have a pet you can't afford. Bruh, just shoplift. Haven't paid for cat food in months. I give the dog whatever I eat. LPT. Jerk off the dog to feed the cat. Buy giant bags of pet food from Costco in bulk. This is not accurate. The vast majority of pet food brands no longer provide samples. Instead, email the brand manufacturer for coupons. A few send coupons for a free bag. I've been in this situation before. Pet food is getting incredibly expensive. Cooking for your dog or cat is becoming a much cheaper option. Something to be aware is cats and dogs have very different stomachs. Cats are carnivores, predators. They need meat, fish to survive. Dogs are omnivores, scavengers. Like humans, they can process starchy foods like rice and potatoes, but of course need more than that to be healthy. Learning which food ingredients you can share could be a handy way to save money. I buy pet mince from the butcher. It's like $2 kilograms and will feed my Westie for a month. Another option is to find a food pantry for yourself. This should help allocate some budget for your pet until you're back on your feet. Many people are saying panties and shelters give out pet food. Great ideas. Definitely try those first. If you can't get anything out of those, you can get a big bag of rice for cheap. Go to an Asian grocery and get some organs. They are cheap and can cost as little as $2 for a pack. If you have more in the budget, go for stuff like ground beef. Add peas or carrots if possible.